Hello, welcome to the Empower Series podcast, the Empower Series family. My name is Clifton Johnson. For those of you who are new, I want to welcome my viewers in the United States and around the world. I am so happy about our guest today. We're going to have a cup of coffee. No, we should literally have some coffee.
We should have had some. I meant to bring you your hot chocolate, and I walked out of the store without it. I had it sitting right there for you.
See, this is really good.
Yeah.
So let me tell you what we're doing. At the Empower Series, we always bring you content that gives you hope, inspiration, education, and connecting you to resources to really take that next step to achieve your goal. I have the pleasure of introducing you to a coffee spot, one of the coffee spots I go to, and I don't drink coffee, but I go to this place just because of the vibe. It's close by home, and it's called Blvd Coffee. And what I found out just last year is that there's a new owner. Now, I would have never known that because the vibe is still the same. It's probably even better. But what I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to introduce you to the new owner, Julie Blucker, and she's going to tell you more about her vision and what's happening. So just get your pens and paper ready, sit down, get comfortable, get your cup of coffee. And we're going to have a conversation about her vision, her passion, how she ran into this, and then also what the new vibe is going to be like. Also, I think this is very important because we all get inspired by other people's story. Like we all have a journey, and we're not unique in it. You know, our experience is unique, but some of the learnings and the experiences are universal. So when I was talking to Julie, I was just inspired and touched by her journey. So she'll decide how much of her journey she wants to share with you. But in the meantime, I want to welcome Julie, the new owner of Blvd Coffee, to the Empower Series podcast.
Thank you for having me here. I really appreciate it.
Look, I appreciate you taking your time out of your life because you just came from work.
I did.
Right?
I just got off work about 10 minutes ago, so I'm dirty and
fresh, smelling like coffee.
I smell like coffee, I'm
With
sure.
No coffee, though.
Yeah. No hot chocolate for you.
Well, Julie, again, I want to appreciate you so much. I definitely want to have a conversation like we've had before.
Yes.
To talk about just your vision and how you came across this opportunity, and as well as the Blvd Coffee, because there's some people watching this that haven't heard of you.
That's
right.
Yeah, I hope not. I hope that everyone's heard of Blvd Coffee. If they haven't by now, they should.
And if they haven't been by, they're going to come by. So hopefully, as a result of this, you're going to get a lot more business.
Yes.
But overall, I just want to have a conversation with you. And I heard that you have never been on a podcast before.
I haven't. This is my very first time. I'm a little nervous, I have to admit.
Look, I'm easy. I'm breaking
you
in,
are very welcoming. Yes.
So tell me a little bit before we get into my questions. Just tell me about yourself. Introduce yourself to us.
Oh, well, like you said, my name's Julie, and I live here in Dallas area. I've been in this area for about 12 years, and I'm what I used to joke as a retired stay-at-home mom. My kids are all grown up, so I'm retired from that job now. Never retired from being a mom, of course, but my kids are, growing up and not needing me around as much as they used to. So, I thought it was time to find something for me to do, and this kind of just fell into place at the right time, and so here I am.
Okay. Well, you had. How did you find it? Because it's in the basement of the South Side of Lamar, right?
Yes, it is. It is.
So tell us about what was going on to where you were looking for a business to get into, and how did you find this one in particular, given where it's located? And I don't know if you were looking for a coffee shop particularly, were you?
No, I had just been looking for kind of just a little business to run in general, and I had actually found a couple of little things that were sparking my interest, and I was actually kind of close to closing the deal on a couple of them, not very long ago, just a few months ago. Yeah. And they just weren't really playing out the way I had hoped, and some things were just kind of dragging along, taking a little bit more time, and things just weren't really playing the way it just wasn't working. And I had seen this little ad. It's not hard. You just kind of Google businesses for sale in Dallas or businesses for sale in Denton County, and this little coffee shop popped up. And then whenever it said Dallas's, best live acoustic music, that really sparked my interest. And it just kept, I don't know, for lack of a better word, haunting me. I couldn't get it out of my mind.
Right.
And so, it just combined my love of live music and my passion for music. And, I just kept thinking about it, but I kind of wanted to see how these other things were playing out first. And so I kind of put it on the back burner, but I just was coincidentally in the neighborhood one day, and I thought, I'm just going to swing by and just check it out to see. And I did, and I just fell in love with it. It was just the most, it just had this great vibe and really amazing place. And I loved the building, and I loved the historic value of the building, and I loved the vibe of being in there with the rock music all over the wall and the relaxed feeling. But it was just a little bit too far. I thought maybe it's just a little bit too far. So I kind of just put it aside for a little bit, but I just couldn't stop thinking about it. And so here I am.
So how long did the whole process take from you seeing that ad to actually you closing the deal?
It was really pretty fast. Like, it could have happened even faster. The owner was ready to go. I was kind of ready to go. We could have done it a little bit faster, but the city of Dallas required all these rules,
Right.
and so I just had to follow their rules. And so it took a little bit longer than I had hoped, just because, having not bought a business before, I didn't know I was going to need, licenses and permits and all those red tape things. And so it just took a little bit longer. So I would say maybe a month and a half.
Okay.
So really not that long in general,
All right, so let's talk about that. I was going to ask you about the process of you buying a business and what kind of history did you have? Were you used to running a business? So tell me, about your background before you now got into owning the coffee shop.
Well, I had done restaurant management in the past, like in my early 20s, and I had done event management at big hotels, and I had worked in like the as a banquet manager in big hotels and stuff. So I thought I had a little bit of background, good background in restaurant management. And so I had done that. And then over the years, I have done lots of nonprofit organization, running them from being the treasurer to being the president of some of them, or just being a volunteer coordinator for some. So I had done some, big projects, small projects, everything kind of in between. And then I have done a few things like property management type things where I own a little portfolio of my own properties.
Okay.
And so I did that too.
All right, so you've had a lot of other positions where you were managing finances or managing operations.
Yep.
And then you ran across this opportunity. And what was it that made you think, okay, instead of me going to get a W-2 job, now I'm going to take on the experience of being an entrepreneur, which we know is easy. It looks glamorous, but as we were talking about earlier, you've got a bunch of operational deals to work with.
Yeah.
And not just operations, but you got people
Right.
to deal with. So what made you want to jump into the fire of being an entrepreneur?
Well, quite honestly, no one would hire me. I mean, it was crazy. Like, what is it? Less opportunities makes your decisions easier, right? Yeah. I mean, I joke that I couldn't get a job, so I just had to buy myself one. And it's really true because after COVID, like I really kind of thought when my youngest went off to middle school, which was right before COVID, that I would give up all my volunteer stuff and go get a job. Okay. And I naively really thought that I could do that in kind of easily. And then COVID struck, and that kind of put the world on hold. And then maybe a year or so after COVID, I kind of thought, okay, I'll go ahead and start applying for jobs again. And I did. And I put lots of applications out there in catering sales management type jobs at hotels, and, not anything. I wasn't looking to be the CEO. I was looking to come in an entry level sales position. And honestly, I just couldn't even get through the AI because I had no job experience for the last 25 years. And rightly so. I mean, I used to kind of taken a little personal, but now that I've been around my kids that are 23 and graduating college, and I'm seeing how far they are advanced in technology and that kind of thing, I kind of agree with those companies. I'm kind of behind.
They made the right choice. So here's the interesting thing when I'm listening to your story. So number one, you're trying to find a job. You didn't really know that God had a plan for you to run into this opportunity to buy this coffee shop, and so you're doing all this other activity and realizing that behind the scenes, and maybe other people can relate to this.
Yeah.
I believe God is always working.
Yeah.
Right? There's always a plan.
There's always a force somewhere.
Yeah. We don't know
what it is.
He doesn't give us the inside scoop of it, right?
No.
But I think it's interesting that you ran across this opportunity, and you were telling me before that the owner of this coffee shop, which has been in business for over 2 decades,
right?
Over 20 years.
Yeah.
She was looking for retiring, and she was the one that founded this coffee shop,
right?
Too, right?
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about that interaction, who she is, and this history that you are now receiving the baton, like the torch is being passed to you now.
Yeah,
to continue this.
It's daunting a little bit. It is
this staple in the community, and the Cedars community.
Yeah, right? It's daunting, and it really does weigh on me a little bit. And I take the responsibility with a lot of pride, but also with a lot of respect for her, and with a lot of duty and knowing that I have a lot to carry on. And so, I think I joked with you, if you fail a Baskin Robbins, it doesn't matter. There's 20 or 30 more coming right behind you. Yeah. But this woman spent 20 years building this restaurant and this little sense of community in this little place in in a little part of this world, and I feel not necessarily the pressure, but the honor of being able to carry on that baton for her and for the community too.
Yeah.
And I want to for her, and I want to for the community, and I want to for me. And I want Opening Bell to go on long after me too. I want it to be what it is now, what it was before, and I want it to continue going on and doing its thing for a long time to come.
Well, I can appreciate that because, I'm the founder of the Empower series. So it's an idea that I have, and I call myself being a good steward of it.
Yeah.
At some point, I got to pass it on too, right?
Right.
So I want to pass it on to somebody who's going to take this idea and take it to a higher level.
Yeah.
Like I'm sure the owner of Opening Bell was passing this on to you.
Right.
And, entrusting you to take this baby that she had birthed
Yes.
to a higher level.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I think I hope that's what she did. I mean, she must have had some confidence in me that she was able to give it to me, or not give it to me, to sell it to me.
Because it wasn't just the money. I'm sure she had a lot of people
She
coming
had a
to
lot
her,
of offers on
right?
it. She did. And she said she was looking for the right person, the right fit. I think she wanted somebody who wasn't going to come in and just, gut it and turn it into a Starbucks or turn it into a real sterile environment. I think she knows, of course, that anytime a new owner comes in, they're going to put their own personal touch on it, and they're going to make some changes. And I've experienced. I'm doing that. I'm making some changes here and there, and some of these changes might work, and some of them might not work. And if they don't work, then we'll try something else. And if that doesn't work, then I'll try something else. And I'm just going to keep trying until something does work. And I don't want to ever change the essence of what it is. I don't want to change the vibe of what it is. I just want to maybe give it a little bit of a update of what she started, and I want it to continue on what she has, and let it just flourish that way.
Well, let me just say this: you're doing a good job.
Thank you.
Right, because I didn't even know that the ownership had changed, but I really felt when Calvin Golden and I were there, we just had a good time, and there was a lot of vibe. And I came there. Had it been before you bought it? Whoever it was just a good experience that I was having. And then is it Kayla?
Kayla, yeah.
Kayla. So shout out to Kayla. What's up, Kayla?
Kayla.
Shout out, baby. Shout out, baby. You doing?
We love Kayla.
Yeah, she is so great.
She is.
And so with you and her together, if that's the energy and the spirit, that you're going to continue on, have at it. You're going to be very successful.
Yeah, Kayla was my first person that I hired there, and the story that I love to tell about Kayla, I think I told you, is that I checked the cameras one night or one morning to see what was just happening in the store, and we weren't very busy, and Kayla was there by herself, but she was there by herself dancing. That's it. That's the kind of employer that I want. They're having fun still, and they've got that. They're bringing that energy to work, and that smile. And I can train how to make coffee. And I think I told you too. Like the first night that I hired Kayla, I just asked her to come to the open mic to kind of get a sense of the feel for it. I hadn't even hired her yet, and I was running the open mic, and I'm not an entertainer, and I was just kind of trying to, help out a little bit. And before the night was over, Kayla was running the open mic, and I just said, "You take over because you're already doing a better job than me."
Right.
And so I felt like I'm doing the whole place a service by handing this over to you.
Okay, so since you brought it up, open mic, I know this coming weekend. We have the Empower series, but when is open mic?
Open mic is every Saturday from 3 to 6.
Okay, so 3 to 6.
3 to 6.
If you want to be on the mic, do you have to get there at 3? Get there before 3?
Right around 3 o'clock. So we're kind of playing with it a little bit. We've only done the 3 to 6 for 1 week. It used to be 4 to 6, and then they had to show up at 3:30 or sooner to sign up. But a lot of people kind of said, hey, 2:30 is a little early for us to get there. And other people didn't know that we were extending it from 3 to 6. So they were still showing up at 3:30, and then it was too late. So we're gonna say sign up starts at 3.
Okay.
So, but this was also the first week that we didn't have to turn people away, that everybody got a chance to play, and everybody had their moment up on stage. So that was kind of nice.
All right, so talk about the mix. So you got artists who perform music, play music. You have people who sing.
Yep.
You have spoken word. You have comedians. You have
we have a whole mix.
I just mentioned everybody. What is it?
Yeah, it's kind of a mix of everybody, and it changes from week to week. I would say it's 98% musicians. People who it's singer-songwriters. We encourage people to bring their own music.
Okay.
We do get some covers from time to time, but it's mostly people who write their own stuff and they play their own stuff. Occasionally, we have singers who come in who don't play, and I'll say, "Well, we have a lot of musicians in the room. I'm sure you'll find someone to accompany you if you want, if you can look." So there's that. we do have some people that want to come up and do poetry readings, which are always really pretty, and I like that. I just booked a couple of them for a full Sunday show, so I'm really looking forward to seeing their Sunday shows or hearing their Sunday shows.
Okay.
And then we do some stand-up comedy, and so last week we had 2 stand-up comedians that got up there for about 5 minutes each and did their thing, and so it's kind of a mix. But I would say majority of it is singer-songwriters writing their own music.
All right, so this is a spot. So I want you to tell me about your vision and the vibe. But this is the spot to where I'm not a coffee drinker, but I can smell the coffee. You got a lot of good coffee. I do my hot chocolate. You've got drinks, refreshments, danishes. So you definitely got that vibe going on there. You also have the music scene. So people who are just beginning or even well-recognized artists can perform. That's cool. And then it's the place where people sit down comfortably and they can make connections. And so it's really a community of all 3 of those things. It's a vibe for refreshments and beverages, connections, and performing artists.
Right. We have some people who just come in and hang out all day long and just hang out and surf the web or read a book and just hang out all day with us. And it's great. And it's fine. And I've had people be like, are you sure it's okay that I just stay here all day? And yes, it's okay that you
You're not
stay
going to
here.
get kicked out if you don't buy a hot chocolate, right?
No, you're not going to get kicked out if you don't buy a hot chocolate. But they just want to hang out and it's great. I love it. And you know what also never fails to amaze me, and this happened just last week, is that sometimes my customers never fail to amaze me sometimes. They'll be sitting there and this happened where he was like, hey, you guys are closed now. And he's really quiet. He comes in all the time, constantly. He's there. He's one of those people that's there in the morning. He's there in the evening. He's just there a lot. He's real quiet, always super friendly and polite. But one day out of the blue, he goes, do you mind if I just go ahead and play the piano a little bit and practice now that you're closed?
Wow.
And I was like, sure, go ahead.
But
he's not practicing. He's a concert piano player.
You didn't go until we closed. Right?
Yeah, and then he doesn't just start playing the piano. He's a singer too.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and so I was like, dude, you got a well kept secret over there. I'm like, stop.
So did you book him?
Well, he did come to open mic though the next week. And I was like, you got to come to open mic. And so yes, but he's a singer songwriter and he's writing his own stuff. And but he was so unassuming, just quiet, sitting there. And then all of a sudden, hey, do you mind if I just play a little jingle? I'm like, yes, play a little jingle.
So here's the deal. I got to make an announcement real quick. So if you are an artist in the beginning stage, whether it's singing, playing music, comedian, or spoken word, and you're looking for a stage.
Yes, we have a stage for you.
Opening bell.
Opening bell is it. We have a stage for you. Yes.
So that's cool. All right. So I want to make sure I don't run out of time before I ask you some questions.
Okay.
So we talked about your background and what led you to. Oh yeah. So you talked about how important music is to you.
Music is very important to me.
Tell me a little bit about that and about how it wasn't just this business concept of opening up a coffee bar. It was really the music that
it was more the music than the coffee. And I think I told you that I was so enthusiastic and excited about the music that I kind of forgot for a minute that it was a coffee store when I was buying it. And then all of a sudden I was like, oh, I got to get up in the morning and make coffee. Darn it. Oops. Yeah, it was really the music. And it's music I've always been drawn to music. I just love it. I love listening to live music, especially. I get drawn into it. And I think I mentioned to you before when we were talking that I just think music will always find you where you need it in life. And definitely music found me where I need it in life. And that is in this coffee shop. And it has helped me I think I told you, it's checked a lot of boxes for me. And it found me definitely where I need it right now in my life too. Well, so it can cheer you up. It can bring you down. It can make you. I know everybody always says that it makes you have great memories of times or places or people or things like that. But I think it goes a little bit deeper than that too. I think that it can kind of actually just make you kind of bring it full circle around and make you realize that you're just part of the human experience. And even musicians can. I think I told you, your musicians can be your best friends. They will listen to you, and you can get a lot of guidance from them, even whenever nobody wants to listen to your stories anymore. No one wants to listen to your problems anymore. You can work out a lot of life problems listening to music. So,
yeah, I definitely think there is something spiritual around music.
I do too.
And it does meet you where we need to be met.
Yes, I think so too. It will find you where you need it.
Yeah. So yeah, I hear what you're saying about that. And so this place has a history, and I didn't know about it really. So it has it's won a lot of awards.
A lot of awards.
So let me kind of just mention a few of them. And so the Dallas Observer gave it the Best Atmosphere Award. The D Magazine gave it the Best Coffee House Award. Dallas Observer, another one, gave it the Best Coffee House Award. WFAA Best Live Music Venue. And you guys have made it to multiple A-list and Best Coffee House awards for WFAA and just numerous other awards. Did you know that when you were doing your due diligence about this coffee shop?
I did see that.
Yeah.
And that's all credit to the previous owner and the artists that come and support her during those years. Those are her awards, and she deserves all of them.
So who are some of the recognizable artists that you are going to continue book or that you know about the history of?
Well, Casey James is going to be here on Thursday.
Okay.
He's kind of a big name in country music, and he was an American Idol finalist on season 9.
Right.
He got up in the top 3. Liz Longley is going to be here next week. She's amazing. She's got a beautiful voice. I can't wait to hear her.
Okay.
David Ramirez was just here a couple weeks ago. I don't know if you're familiar with him, but wow, does he put a spell on a room for sure.
Okay.
Thomas Hines is a underrated musician that I just discovered recently in my store, who's going to be here later in the month too, who's just amazing. If you haven't heard him, please come out and listen because he's just great.
Okay.
We've just got, Griffin House is in April, and I'm on the edge of my seat waiting on Griffin House to come. I'm so excited for them. Yeah. So we have great musicians all the time lined up, and we have a lot of people that aren't maybe as well known, but again, my musicians just never fail to amaze me, just how amazing they are.
Yeah,
so.
and to your point, it's a great place for people who are just starting.
Yeah,
to
for
give
sure.
it a shot, right?
Yeah.
And so not only do you give them a shot at open mic, but do you give new artists an opportunity to perform during other times besides open mic, or how does that work?
No, it's just during open mic, really.
Okay.
Yeah, but I also want to, before we move on too far, I also want to mention that we are just got nominated for another award for the Dallas for the best open mic night.
What?
Yes, from the
you
Dallas.
Got nominated, right?
We're nominated currently right now from the Dallas Entertainment Awards. We just got the nomination a couple nights ago for the open mic, for the best open mic in Dallas. So I'm very excited.
So how do they make their choice? Do you need people to vote or what?
We need people to vote. So we need you to go
get it
on.
out there.
Yeah,
here's your commercial. Get it out there now.
I think it's Dallas Entertainment Events or Dallas Events Entertainment. I'd have to. It's on the website, and it's on Facebook, and it's all over Instagram and Twitter.
So what I'll do is I'll find out more from you afterwards, and I'll post it underneath this video. But in the meantime, talk about your social media. So if people want to look to see who's performing, or if they want to find out more about open mic, tell us about your social media handles so they can begin following you.
Okay, they're all Opening Bell Coffee. So it's all Opening Bell Coffee.
Keeps it simple, right?
It keeps it simple, that's right. So it's on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok. I would say majority I post is on Facebook because I'm old that way. But I'm mature that way. But I am slowly venturing out into the Instagram world and to the Twitter world too. So I'm getting there slowly. So if you guys see me making little mistakes out there, sorry, I'm working on it. I'm getting there. Think of me as your 90-year-old grandma who's been in the cave for a decade. That's me. But I've got some good baristas that are helping me and teaching me how to do some of that stuff, and some kids that are helping me do some of that stuff. So it's getting there. But all those social medias, we're on them. And so you can find us there. You can find us at openingbellcoffee.com, just our website. Yeah. There's a calendar link or an events link, and you can just find all of our events there. All
right. So tell me, a lot of the vibe, the platform for artists is going to be the same, but what you bringing new to the table? What kind of vibe, what kind of expansion ideas you have, your vision? What are you bringing new to the game?
So I do have this idea. I don't know if you saw on our Facebook, we just redid our stage, the backdrop of our stage. Okay. And we kind of did it with drapes, and we did it with some lighting, so it gives it a little bit more real stage vibe, like real artist vibe, not that ours wasn't before, but it just kind of gives it more of a sleek impression looking when you walk in. I'm getting mixed reviews on it. Some people love it. Some people are kind of like, hey, we kind of like the old stage too.
It's changed.
It's always changed, right? So we're just going to see how it plays out. But another thing I'm going to do is I'm getting a really large screen TV put in this week. And instead of playing Spotify all the time on the TV in the background, I'd like to have live concerts all the time in the background during the day.
Oh, music. Like when nobody's there to perform.
Right, when no one's there to perform. Okay. So instead of having just Spotify on with background music, I'm going to have a giant, instead of like music videos or MTV, it'll just actually be live concerts, full concerts, and so thousands of artists stream their concerts live every year, and you can buy a service that you can stream them on your TV.
Oh wow! That's
And
good.
so you can a wide variety of musicians. Okay. So like Bruce Springsteen last year when he was on tour, he streamed all of his concerts live, and so you can buy a service that you can go back and download all those and stream on the TV. So I'd like to have, instead of Spotify or just background music all the time, I'd like to have live concerts on my screens all the time.
You know, that's pretty cool because when you look at concert tickets now, it's like outrageously expensive, isn't it?
It is.
It's crazy. Now you can go sometimes on YouTube and just see a whole concert for free.
Right. Well, right. And so along those lines, you know, there are some times where we probably won't do this a lot because we have live artists at night. But on nights where we don't have live artists, or if there's a really big show, or even if there's a small show, like there was a show at Trees not too long ago, and it wasn't very many tickets put out because it was a small venue, but he streamed it live. And so maybe then the next night I could have an encore performance of it at my store, or, you know, when Aerosmith canceled their concert, maybe we could have had, you know, a come see Aerosmith here,
Right.
you know, show. You know, it would have been last year's show, but it would still been an Aerosmith show.
Okay.
So we could try some things like that to see if, you know, I think people would be, I know I would love to go see those. And I think I've mentioned to you too, I'm a big Grateful Dead fan and a big Deadhead fan. So all my Deadheads out there, I know they'll come and watch the shows.
Most definitely. And then your location is the basement of the Southside Lamar, right?
It is, yeah.
So, what is your address? The regular
1409 Botham Jean Boulevard, Dallas.
Okay. And I just think that finding that spot, you have a group of people who are already familiar with it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
For people who are new, is there an easy way of, there's parking, I know there's free retail parking like very close.
Right. There's parking like across the street, kind of diagonal across. You can park there. You can park on the street. It's fine to park on the street. You can park, I guess you can technically park at the Canvas Hotel across the street.
Right, because it's right across from the Canvas
Because
Hotel.
it's right across the street from the Canvas Hotel. I think that sometimes people think that you can't park at those Canvas or those catty corner lots across the street. I think the first one's for residents, and then the one behind that is open for anyone.
Okay.
It's a little bit of a walk, but I think we're worth it.
And what's your hours?
Our hours do vary. So we're open Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday from 7 a.m. until 6 p.m.
Okay.
Thursdays we stay open till 9, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And then Sundays we close at 2.
Oh, Sundays at 2?
Yeah.
In the morning?
No, 2 in the afternoon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Why am I thinking 2 in the morning? On a Sunday, it's like, whoa.
Whoa, you're partiers.
I don't know why I thought 2
But that's a good idea. Who knows who knows what kind of trouble we can find?
Yeah.
We might
Who
find
else
some.
is gonna be
We
open,
might have
right?
some good times then. I bet we can find something.
A new
There's a new
audience,
concept,
right?
yeah.
That's a good
For
one.
the Deadheads.
And then you did you want to mention anything else, like construction-wise? Is it going to stay the same, the space and everything, besides the stage?
I think the space will stay the same. All the cool artwork will stay the same on the walls. We had to move some of the artwork that's behind the stage because I put the draping up, but we'll just relocate it and find a different spot for it. I'm going to upgrade the furniture a little bit, make it a little bit more comfortable seating.
Okay.
Maybe bring in some more couches. Maybe just kind of update that a little, make it more comfortable for the customers. And then I've got some great food coming up.
Whoa.
Yeah, the big
Talk
changes
to me
with the
about some
food.
food,
Big
okay.
changes about the food. So we actually have very limited cooking capabilities at Opening Bell. So I've partnered with the commissary downtown, and they're been supplying us some amazing fresh made ham and cheese croissants and some rolls and some bread, some breakfast items. We're kind of getting some new things in, but we're also just kind of replacing some of the things that we have with more daily baked items that we can replace it and give our customers a fresher version of it, like blueberry muffins or raspberry muffins. And so we're playing with the menu a little bit. We might have some trial and error there, but so far every day I've gotten fresh ham and cheese croissants delivered to my restaurant in the morning, and we've sold out every morning.
Okay, so speaking about that, so you want to have some breakfast food or wider variety of breakfast food. What about lunch?
We're going to try to update the lunch menu too. I would really like to find, if anybody out there knows one, maybe a pizza supplier that we can, once I can get the breakfast kind of things out, then that will free up some of my kitchen space because I won't need to cook the microwave and the toaster oven as much. And I'd like to put a small little pizza oven in, and maybe get a pizza supplier that can maybe help help us with that. So maybe some tacos. Unfortunately, I just think that we don't have the space or the capability to cook a lot.
Yeah.
And so we're going to have to always maybe bring our stuff in unless it's just cold sandwiches.
Now, is that also new? Like, there's never been provided before in the past 20 years?
Right.
That kind of food?
Right.
Oh, okay.
I think the stuff that she's provided has either been brought in or it's just like cold items, or they've had just limited like microwave and toaster oven cooking capability. Okay. There's no room in the back to cook. So we might switch. I would like to bring my coffee grinding and my coffee brewing out up front. It's currently in the back. I'd like to, if I could bring that in the front, then I can maybe cook a little bit more and maybe add some
kind
ways
of
to
more
cook.
Room in the kitchen.
Yeah. But I just don't. I'm really limited on my space to cook. But open to suggestions on any of that if anybody has any. But I did reach out to a taco place today to see if we can maybe do some tacos too. But the commissary they make all of their stuff there fresh every day. And so they deliver to me every day, and I just don't see how it's not going to be successful with them.
Well, I'm excited for you. Right?
Thank you.
And I think change is always good. I like in the beginning of our podcast, you were talking about how you were looking for a place, didn't really have this on your radar, and then it popped up on your radar when you were trying to find a W-2 job.
Yeah.
So I think there's some, again, inspiring messages from people who are watching this, because I believe there are no accidents. People who are watching this, who had an idea of starting a business or getting into the business, they just didn't know. They're moving around. They're not seeing things move in the right place. What else can you share with me about your story in looking for this opportunity and the pluses, the challenges, the things that you didn't expect that's now harder than you anticipated? You know, definitely connecting with the music is live.
Yeah.
But what other insights would you like to share with our Empower Series community if they're on this same journey of looking for what's next?
I would say the biggest thing is just don't stop. You know, if you, especially as a woman, for me, you know, I thought I was doing all the right things growing up and becoming a young mom, and I followed my husband around the world to the Air Force. So I did what I was supposed to do with him. I had my children. I raised them. I supported them. I followed them all around. And I kept thinking that, you know, my turn was going to come. You know, my turn was going to come for a career. My turn was going to come to do something that, not that I didn't enjoy doing those things, and I absolutely feel blessed that I was able to stay home with my kids. But once they get to that age, they don't need you anymore. They're doing their own lives. And so I always just felt like my turn was going to come. And so people ask me all the time, like, you know, what, you're at the age you are, why are you jumping into this now? Were you just bored? And it really wasn't a thing of boredom. It was really just, it was my turn. I just felt like it's my turn. And so if you really just kind of have that drive to do something, don't give up, you know, just keep trying. Something will eventually fall in line, and you'll find your right path eventually if you keep looking. And then as far as what's been easy and what's been harder, I'd say it's all been easier and it's all been harder. All the above, exactly. I mean, I can tell you any major life challenge that you ever do, whether it's getting married, having a child, anytime you ever have a major life change, it's never going to be the way you think it's going to be, right? It never turns out exactly like you think. There's going to be it's going to be a little different. And I've worked a lot harder than I thought I was going to have to work. I knew I was going to have to work a lot, but I've worked a lot. I'm there. If I'm not at work, I'm thinking about work. If I'm not thinking about work, I'm probably dreaming about work. I woke up the other night dreaming about hand sanitizer in my kitchen, which is right. Yeah. It's just, you know, you're always on. And so the process of just getting the doors open was harder than I thought. There's, I think, always going to be constant challenges of having employees and keeping employees. I fully understand that baristas, when they come and apply with me, it's a part-time temporary job for them. They're doing it to check a box and then until they can move on, which I respect and understand. And I know, I joke that they will leave me for another woman someday, and I get that. It's just the way it's going to be. They're not going to stay with me forever. Right. But it's just the way it's going to have to be. But I think those are going to always be continuous challenges. It's just all the above, I guess. There are some things that I leave some days so happy that I did this, and my husband can see it, my family can see it. They're like, Mom, you just seem so happy. My friends come in and visit, and you seem so this. And every single person who knows me has walked through the doors and said, this has been a perfect fit for you. Yeah. We can't imagine a more perfect job for you than this. Yeah. And it checks all those boxes of people pleaser and personal growth and something I can dive into and make the numbers all match and work. I get kind of sometimes into that too much. And then I can be creative and kind of have a vision and see if I have a thought or an idea and see if it'll work and make it happen. And, like even just the stage or the video thing. And, it's just one big deep breath. I don't know.
I love it. One big deep breath. So while you were sharing that with me, a couple of thoughts came to mind.
Okay.
I don't know if I remember them all because I was so focused on what you were saying. But there's a gentleman who wrote the book called Action Has No Season.
Oh, okay.
And he talks about, like you were saying, like when you're going to do this, like the whole idea of retiring and working so many years and then not working at all might work for people who are not doing their passion.
Right.
Like they're doing something that's going to afford them a lifestyle that they want. But if you find that you're doing something that is part of your passion, like there's no season, like there's no
Right.
age requirement. This is what you should be doing, right?
Right.
And you'll do this until whatever's next.
Right.
But then the other thing we talked about before we started this is balance.
Yes, we did talk about that. Yeah.
And then I said, well, it's an illusion to think that everything is
illusion.
balanced. Because even in a relationship, it's never 50-50.
Right.
Right. You know,
Right.
it's not balanced, but you want to make sure that you're taking care of yourself.
Right.
And so even if it's 90-10%, just make sure you're not neglecting that 10% of self-care.
Right.
For you, if you had to wave a magic wand,
Mm-hmm.
what would be some self-care things that you would do to kind of share with us and the audience to make sure that you're not just working 24/7, but you're getting some attention to yourself so you can be better for your employees and better for your customers and your business? What would that be?
I think one thing I could really work on is just when I am not working to turn my phone off and turn my computer off. Mm-hmm. And I did that over the holiday when I came and when I was with my kids and my family. I just made a point to just completely not even look at my email or my Facebook or anything even once and just be in the moment of my family and not think about work at all, or at least not try to think about it, but not look at Facebook and not look at Instagram and just, be in the moment of the family. And that was really nice. So I think that's one thing. Two, I need to remember that my employees can handle things and I can leave.
I was going to talk about that, right? Yeah.
I don't have to always be there. They can handle things and I can leave and go out and still, some of my friends have said to me, we miss you. We would like to see you. And so I need to go out and have some fun sometimes. Mm-hmm. So I need to make more time for my personal life, my friends and my family. And that's really the only thing that matters after that.
So the Empower series will support you in that, right?
Yes.
So number one, I would say unplugging makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I was talking to a gentleman here who's a licensed professional counselor who talks about how we do need to unplug because these devices everything's vying for our attention.
Right.
And so whether it's right before you go to bed or if it's, a day or whatever that block of time is, to unplug and give yourself a release and just focus on yourself is, number one.
Right.
Very important. And then the other thing I thought about was a lot of business owners look at, when they start a business, they're in their business. And they have to be to get the systems and things right.
Right.
But one of the benefits of having employees is to create systems an operational system so that the business can run without you.
Correct. That would be ideal. Yes.
So getting that up to speed, and I know this is the very beginning stage of you right now, but it would be ideal to get certain things in place and get the right employees in place.
Correct.
To where you can take away and enjoy your friends and other aspects of your life.
That would be ideal, yeah.
So that's a vision for you, right?
That is a great vision.
We're going to speak that into existence.
Can you put that in some little, tapes that I can take it home and put them on at night?
Right.
Yeah.
And so the other thing, another gentleman who was here, I asked him about some of the personality traits and things that he's learned in other professions that has prepared him for this business. Mm-hmm. And I'm asking you the same question, but I'll tell you his first answer.
Okay.
His first answer was, man, you just, to be a founder of something, to be an executive or a creator or innovator, he said, you really have to have a faith-based life. And really when you look at faith, what is faith? Faith is a substance of things hoped for.
Right.
Or it's a substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things unseen. Mm-hmm. So the founder of Opening Bell Coffee, Pascal
Hall.
she had a vision, right? And she created this coffee shop in the community, and everything that she envisioned, she has now manifested for over 20 years.
Right.
She's given that baton to you.
Right.
Now you're in that position. You have a vision of what you want to have happen.
Right.
And you're working it. But in addition to you having a faith-based lifestyle, to really believe in the truth of your imagination, right? The truth of your imagination, what you see is possible. What do you have to either add to that or speak on that for those people who are watching and they want to step out and do what you're doing?
Ooh. That's a tough question, Clinton.
I know.
Wow.
I got you, right?
I know, you got me. I know.
No, but we live and, we can just talk it out.
Yeah.
Work it out. You live in it, right?
Yeah, I guess I live in it. I mean, just walk me through that one more time. Like, what is the goal
So here's the thing: the faith.
Faith. Like, what is my faith that I'm going? What kind of faith do I have for that?
I think about this. No, well, this is what he was saying, and let's see if it translates. Because even with me in the Empower series, I'll talk about that first.
Okay.
So what I've done for the Empower series is I've laid out my vision for the entire year.
Okay.
We do a workshop on the third Saturday of every year on different topics. I have an idea of what I want to get across in those topics.
Okay.
I have the venue. I haven't laid out all of the speakers and collaborated with them yet. And we do this podcast. Every Monday evening, we're doing a live podcast.
Okay.
We have our social media account. We are growing with our subscriber base. I want us to get to well over 25,000 by the end of the year. And I want to provide meaningful content that grabs the attention of people, not the way a meaningless video does, but a video that gives them empowerment, education, connection to resources. And there's all these things that I want, and I want us to be so big, but I don't have the resources for all of that right now.
Right.
Right? So as I see that as my vision, and I start acting and meeting with people and connecting with people, I'm walking on faith. Right? It's like walking on water. Right. And so sometimes I'm like, I don't know how it's going to get done.
Right. I don't either. Wow.
And so when the gentleman told me, man, this space that we're both in, we're entrepreneurs. We're creating something from scratch. Even though you had a foundation, but your vision is like you creating something greater, right?
Right.
You gotta have faith, because sometimes you don't see it. And like he said, life is like an EKG.
Okay. Right. Up and down, up and down.
So when I talk about a faith-based life, you had to have that even before you started this business.
Yeah.
Right, to a certain extent.
Yeah.
So I'm just asking, from a standpoint of sharing, as we kind of wrap this up,
okay,
a standpoint of sharing your journey and certain aspects of it that people don't see, because they see you owning the coffee shop. They see you having artists. They see you living like, man, you got it so easy. They don't know.
No.
They don't know.
No.
So
I don't
that's
know.
why I want you to kind of,
my faith is in, I don't know. I mean, for sure I have faith in, I hate to say it, but I have faith in my stubbornness and in my determination, and I have faith in my willingness to want to carry the path that has been laid out for this community in this little store. I don't think that this store is just a little coffee store, and I don't think it's just a little place that plays music. I think it's a place that has brought a lot of people a lot of great memories over the years, and I think it's a place that brings people together, and I think it's a place where when people grow up, they look back and they don't, like, it's almost like hearing a song. And when you hear a song, you think of a certain feeling. When the people hear the words Opening Bell Coffee, they don't just think of coffee. They think of a feeling that they have with it. And I have faith that I want to keep that feeling alive for the kids that are coming in today. And I have faith that I will work really, really hard to make that happen in multiple facets. And I think the fact that I'm a very, if nothing more than a stubborn person.
You believe in your stubbornness.
I believe in my stubbornness. And there are times where I have like went to bed and thought, I'm messing this all up. Like, I don't think I'm doing this right. But then I take a breath and I get grounded a little bit. And I remember that I can do this, that I'm going to be okay. And this is going to be fine. I have great resources. I know a lot of people in the community that are really behind making sure that this place succeeds, like you yourself. And I don't think I'm alone in it. And I think I believe in the community that this store is in the middle of. And I believe in that. And I believe that there's faith that everybody around me wants this store to continue to have that feeling. And I think that that's what's going to carry this store forward.
Yeah. So, and I believe that you purchasing the store was not an accident.
Oh, I don't think so either.
It was intentional,
Yeah.
and it was part of the plan.
I think so too.
And you are worthy of carrying that torch.
Thank you.
With your stubbornness.
My stubborn. Actually, one of my employees asked me today, "Have you always been this independent?" And I'm like, "What makes you think that?"
Like, what do you see? What are you talking about?
What are you talking about? As I'm sitting there really hard trying to do something, I'm like, "What are you talking about?" So
it's amazing.
But I don't feel like it's just a little coffee shop. I really don't. And I think that other people don't think that either. And maybe it's just hopeful thinking on my part, really. I don't know. But from all the messages and all the people that talk to me every time they come into the store, even people that have just been there the first time, they feel it when they come in. Can you imagine if you've been coming there for 20 years, how you'd feel about the store?
Yeah,
or if you've been playing there from the time you were 18, or if you had gotten your start there, or if you had been walking through there every day and you've got an art studio upstairs, or if you've grown up there, or if you have met your wife there, or if you have business that you've been doing there for years. It's a community there. And that building is more like a little city in and of itself. And the store is part of that. And it's bigger than just a tiny little store down in the basement.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, that's exactly why I invited you to be on our podcast.
I know I'm really excited about that. And I've never felt more welcomed in a community ever in my life. I've been overwhelmed, like completely overwhelmed by the generosity, the kindness, the love that I've felt almost every day in that store. Just the people that walk up to me and are just so welcoming and friendly. It has just blown me away. It honestly has. And I go home and I tell my husband about stories every day, and he's blown away. He's like, "You know everybody's name already." I was like, "I don't know a lot of their names, but I know them."
Yeah.
And I'm trying to learn their names. But just whenever people come in, they're just so friendly and nice. And it's floored me. It's really it's filled my heart up. And like when I said, it's checked a lot of boxes that I needed to have checked. That it checked a really big box there, and so it's just filled up my heart completely. And I felt like I've found my place.
Well, Maya Angelou said that people would never remember what you do or say,
Right.
but they will always remember how you made them feel.
Yes, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I would let you know that you've made me feel very welcome.
Thank you.
At the Open Bill Coffee Shop.
Thank you.
And I'm sure you made the community and everybody else there feel the same way.
I hope so. That is my goal.
Yeah, so I want to thank you for that. And as we wrap this up,
Okay.
because time is precious.
I could talk forever.
You got to get home, right?
Yeah.
I do want to give you an opportunity to share with our community, I guess, your final message about your coffee, Open Bill Coffee, why they should come, or whatever you choose to share with them. Because I want to thank you so much for being a part of the Empower Cities podcast.
Okay,
tonight.
thank you. I appreciate you having me here tonight. And again, I enjoyed meeting you and your partner that you had in that day, or your friend that you had in that day. You guys were so much fun that day. We had a great time. I told you, I have the most fun just when I'm at work, hanging out, chatting with my customers. I don't get any work done there, but I have so much fun meeting everybody. But I guess the opening bell, come for the music. Yeah. Come for the music. Come on the weekends. We have great music. Every weekend we do. Come for the food. The food is going to be changing. Come for the coffee. The coffee's really good. We have coffee from Counterculture. It's really good coffee.
Come for the hot chocolate.
Come for the hot chocolate, and come for the great conversation. We'll have come for the community. And I've seen people in the short amount of time I've been there, I've seen people come in as total strangers, and within a few weeks they have a group of friends.
Yeah.
So I've seen that already, and so come for the community.
So come for the music, come from the coffee, hot chocolate, come for the connections, and just come for the experience.
Come for the experience,
right? Because there's purpose in that.
Yep, exactly.
So again, my greatest appreciation.
No, mine to you also.
For what you do, and for you jumping out there and purchasing this business. We're going to talk more about that.
Yeah.
But I also want to thank you for watching, because time is precious, and I'm very grateful that you've taken the time to watch this. If you watched all of it, or if you come back and watch it all, I want to make sure that we're giving you something that's going to give you hope, inspiration, education, and connecting you to the resources to help you achieve your goal. So if you want to be connected with Julie, come to Opening Bell Coffee.
Yes.
If you want to be connected with the Empower Series, you're doing what you're doing. So subscribe to our YouTube channel, like us, share us, give us your comments. Let us know how we can be even better and empower you. Let us know how we can help you thrive in 2025. Also, you can email me at thrive@empowerseries.com. You can go to our website, empowerseries.com, and either give us your official comments on a survey. You can connect with us by volunteering your time or your talents, or you can make a donation by clicking on the left-hand button up in top. Because what we do, we cannot do if it wasn't for companies like AE Media Group, our corporate sponsors, and our individual donations like you. Oh, also, we reached over 10,000 subscribers on our YouTube channel.
Congratulations. That's amazing.
So we're doing some great things. One of the things that I'm finding out is that there's a super thank you. I didn't know about that. Where they can actually click super thank you right underneath the video on the 3 dots there and make a contribution to help us do what we're doing, because we run on donations. Or definitely at the end of this video, there's a link where you can make a donation, or you can subscribe to YouTube as well. Also, you can text give or donate to 214-225-6337. So there's many different ways where you can give. You can also join the Empower Series and actually join at several levels and get more individual behind the scenes content and perks. So there's all these different ways. I'm just rambling on. But again, I want to thank you for your time. Stay connected with us. We definitely want to make sure that we're empowering people and giving you meaningful content. So don't let this be the end. Let it be the beginning. And until we meet again, be empowered and inspired to thrive. Thank you.